So, we've spoken about stories. The kinds that are lost to time or war. But what about those stories that are yet to be written? What is the story of Brynn, the slayer of Surgeborn, point of Oria Silverbeak's legendary weaver band?
I suppose that's me in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yes, but what else? I can't help but wonder whether there will be anyone else who's indelibly part of your story.
I'd need to have someone around to champion my exploits. Can't just hand out copies of my journal, can I?
Goodness! If only there was someone around who could shout your praises from the rooftops.
You never know. They could be right around the corner.
We shall have to keep an eye out.
I think we all suspected prolonged exposure to the raw magic in here would affect creatures, but it's surprising to see how far it's gone.
Is it possible the same thing is happening to us? Or has happened to the Hearthsiders?
While it's long been theorized we must have something akin to Strands in us, they've never manifested like in a great creature. On one hand, this means we need mantles to mimic what they do naturally. On the other, Asha, Cassil, and so on seem less affected by the Enclave. It's not like Arakim has grown a third arm. I think we can presume safety for some time.
You think this is caused by something other than direct contact with raw magic, like the tangles?
Oh yes. It's that the air is so thick with magic that tangles can even form. It's unprecedented, and thank the flames for that. Imagine if every creature across the Maida acted as aggressive as the ones you're facing.
What do we do about it, though?
Our first step has to be securing the source. If it's the reason the Enclave had access to so much magic before the Surge, it's also why things are so suffused with raw magic. You see, this is largely an infrastructure problem. The leaks in the tapestry will have to be sealed and magic slowly consumed through usage. If we can reduce the emission of raw magic to below our consumption, the concentration will drop. Once the levels inside match the rest of the Maida, we should be back to some semblance of normal.
Hard to believe I have a title now.
The Axel seemed certain you were ready for it.
Hirune's also a politician. She knows this somewhat buys my loyalty to her if she tries to become the next eye.
Do you think this will drastically change how you interact with the other scouts?
In time, I imagine so. We've been without an advocate for so long, and right now's the best time for me to push. I do have some promising candidates to take over day-to-day operations. I suppose we'll have to accelerate that process.
Takes multiple people to replace you, hmm?
You got me. Yes, I was bragging. I think it's critical we have some checks to make sure the system's working. If one group is over or underperforming, I can try to work with them to figure out why. Wins, listen to me. Just chain me to a desk already. All I do is stare at scrolls and move abacus beads now.
Would you support her, then?
Hirune's a practical lady. She knows the scouts are critical to our ongoing survival. Farming and fishing around Cassidans keeps us fed, but rare materials for alchemy, medicines, enchanting and so on, all us.
Which gives you some leverage.
It does. But also my title is precarious, as she granted it as acting eye. No one's going to challenge her, not right now. But implicitly, if she goes, I go with her.
Job one will be dealing with the source, right? You feeling up to it?
If it were all on me, I'd be overwhelmed. But I've got your band. An exceptional group with an exceptional point. But you tell me, am I ready?
I'm with the Axel. It's going to be a change, though.
A shift in the winds, for sure.
Still, look at how you interact with the band here, now. Arranging tasks, working with them. I think you feel more comfortable here.
I do. Your group is inspiring. Everyone's pulling in the same direction. I doubt I can capture that particular magic with all the politics around the hold, but maybe I can match it with the scouts.
I'm excited to see how it goes, Khan Katabi.
I hope I live up to your and everyone's expectations.
You will.
All this time, the spindle was sneaking out of Cassidon's hold, and I had no idea.
Sounds like you two had more in common than you realized.
Just reminds me that you've got to tell people how you feel when you get the chance.
Was there something you wish you had told the spindle?
Not her. No.
An offering for you, Genius. Time to talk to Arik. I've made an offering for Eugenius's grave.
Great. Here's the key swatch to his farm. That's where he was buried. I'll join Aurea at the scry when you arrive.
Are you sure you don't want to be the one to place the offering? This was your idea, after all.
It will be more meaningful for her if it's you. Trust me.
All right. Thank you for this.
Still can't believe I'm here.
What is this place?
Osphine Pastures. Your father's farm. I thought you'd want to see it for yourself.
My father lived here.
More than lived. He gave his blood, sweat, and tears for the Enclave here. Eugenius Osphine may not have a statue in Denevron for excellence in weaving or kissing the eye's arse, but he kept the surviving weavers afloat during the aftermath of the Surge.
I had no idea.
After the Surge, he only kept enough produce to take care of himself and his workers. The rest went to weavers across the Enclave, and his generosity led to many helping him in return.
I can't believe he did so much for the Enclave.
He was a true leader, if not in the most traditional way. A community of workers formed around him, including ex-points, who would transport his food across the Enclave in these caravans. Many of whom went on to form the Scouts as an organization that still exists within Cassidon's Hold today.
So that's how you know all this.
Before the Arcs began malfunctioning, they were integral to farming across the Enclave. Many farmers refused to stop using them because of their efficiency, even at the risk of their farmhands being attacked. But your father scrapped his arcs as soon as he got wind of the first malfunction to keep his workers safe.
That can't have been an easy decision.
But he made it, anyway.
Everyone thought he was mad at the time, but in a few months when the attacks became widespread, his forethought was recognized. After the surge, aftershocks destroyed many farms, including this one. Tangles spread across the land. Crops began to die. While other farmers abandoned their livelihood, Eugenius never did. He had to rebuild many times, but he weathered every storm.
Wow. My mother told me he was driven.
Of all his workers, Eugenius was said to be the first one in the field each morning and the last to leave at night.
He sounds a lot like you, Aurea. This looks like a wooden carving of your mother, Aurea.
Please, bring it back for me.
Of course. This must be your father's grave, Aurea. I'll place an offering here. It certainly won't be lonely. Are all these offerings for Eugenius, Eric? Some of the flowers are fresh.
The scouts continue to take care of his grave to this day, to honor all the sacrifices he made for the Enclave.
He must have been an incredible man.
This is so much more than I ever could have expected. Thank you for showing me, Eric. Truly. And Brynn, when you come back to camp, there's something I need to do. I'm sorry.
For what?
You saw through the eye from the start, and I doubted you when I shouldn't have.
I have experience dealing with slimy, over-promising leaders, so foresight was on my side there.
I'm serious. I didn't realize he was capable of this.
No one could have predicted he would be manipulated so thoroughly. That level of incompetence is hard to foresee.
The Eye is the highest position of leadership within the Enclave. The most progressive place in the Maida.
One we've been told stories of our entire lives. It's become mythic.
The more time we spend here, the more I realize that those were practically fairy tales. I allowed myself to be blinded by his title. I need to be sharper next time. Everyone knew the aeroliths could smooth out the weather, but no one suspected they could change it so suddenly. Since the surge, they've caused wild swings, but no one has ever tried to control it.
Sev's achieved something incredible.
And practical. Imagine the look on a glass-tail's face when it suddenly turns blisteringly hot.
Surprise, Icy Boy. It's summer.
Exactly. Advantage, Brynn. All right, everyone. It's no secret that my role in our band is changing. What each of you has done to help me find peace in that is more than anyone deserves. And the time has come for me to say that serving each of you as point has been just... Being your point has been the privilege of my life. I've loved every minute of it. But in every ending, there's a new beginning. She's been doing the job since we got here, and the time has come for us to congratulate Brynn on formally becoming your point.
Well deserved.
She's been exceptional. We're in great hands.
Brynn, care to say a few words?
I wanted this role for so long that, truthfully, the band I got it for didn't matter to me. But you've all taught me that this role means nothing without good people to serve.
I couldn't ask for someone better to pass the torch to.
Thank you, Aurea. That means everything.
You earned it. And I should have done it a while ago. It was just hard to let go.
You know, I can't stop thinking. Could Stannard have fixed the weather?
From what Sev said, the former I was more a political animal than an expert.
Yeah, that makes sense. If only he'd shared what he had access to with people who were halfway competent. Anyway, I just hope Sev can keep digging. He's got a good head on his shoulders. By the way, did you hear what Aurea said to me?
No?
I guess you can call me Madame Osphine.
No!
Oh, yes. You are a smart, capable, and amazing person. But you're a menace.
What my father did for the Enclave is... well, it's more than I could hope to achieve. It's funny. My mother never lied about who he was, but she did leave a lot out.
Sounds like he was the hero she described, if not in the way you expected. But from where I'm standing, he seems more deserving of a statue than most.
Yes. You know I never looked down on my father for being a farmer, right? My reaction to finding out his identity for the first time wasn't about his job or him not being who I wanted or expected him to be. It was about me, not being who I thought I wanted to be. But perhaps my way of measuring success has been far too narrow all these years. And I can't help but wonder if my mother's was too. If that might be why she never told me who he was.
Maybe that was a part of it.
It wasn't like she put pressure on me, but there were always unspoken expectations. I needed to perform. And I'm grateful to her for that. I wouldn't have the career I've had if it weren't for her. She was a great mentor. But perhaps there's a cycle to break when it comes to how my family has defined its legacy.
I think that's beautiful.
You do?
Of course. I told you I look up to you. I can't wait to learn as much from this phase of your career as I have from all the others.
Me too. This is going to be a challenging expedition. Are you ready?
Have Arik escort Khan Arteme here. I'm ready to move out.
Good. Take some time to rest. And I'm sure everyone will want a chance to speak with you before you head into the rift.
You all worry too much. I'll be fine.
I know that. Just make sure the others do, too.
All right.
I've run every test I could think of.
You're worried. You have every right to be, but I'm sure you've done your best.
I'm glad you think so. The theory's sound and the system's working well. Better than expected, in fact. When I told you about the Grand Gate and Stanil's plan, I wasn't sure I was doing the right thing. You and the band have helped a lot with that. A lot. I even feel like I understand how the tapestry works. We can fix this place, but I'm going to need your help. Understand?
I look forward to it.
After the surge, we no longer had any reason to celebrate. Our seasons were broken, so any festivals we once had to celebrate their transition suddenly lost their meaning. So we stopped. I've lived my whole life like this, only hearing stories of joy and calm and peace and optimism. Never seeing it myself. If we succeed today, there may well be a reason to celebrate once more. And my heart burns with the desire to give that gift to the children of the Enclave, who would otherwise go without.
We'll get it done, Karnata May.
Hiroon, I very much hope so. Don't die down there.
Hasn't happened to me yet, so that must mean the odds are in my favor. Kaz, how are you feeling about the upcoming expedition?
Surprisingly okay. Not too long ago, circumstances like this would have sent me spiraling. But these days, I feel like I can handle it.
I'm glad to hear it. You've come a long way. I'm really proud of you.
Thanks to you. And while we have a moment, I should probably tell you. I know you can do this. No matter what that crummy herald says when you get down there. You're going to kick its proverbial butt out of the source and save the Enclave as we know it.
Kaz, it helps to hear that.
Yeah, well, normally you're the one who says the right thing when I need it, so I thought I'd change things up for this.
Thanks. You're a good friend. I'm sure you have thoughts on the upcoming expedition?
It's funny. You'd think I'd be remembering my mother, the expert weaver. But my father is on my mind right now. What it must have been like, cultivating his fields year after year.
Taking a moment to enjoy what you've cultivated.
I'm at peace. My new role is to help you build upon what I've learned.
That's quite the legacy.
One last piece of advice before you go?
Always.
When the time comes for you to find your own apprentice, choose one that can help you with this transition like you've helped me.
If I survive this, you mean?
We both know you will.
I find myself once more mining the past for clues. An impulse not born of regret this time. We've achieved much together, it's true. But beyond this, what more can we do?
We've done everything we can. right? So perhaps we just need to have faith.
As alien as it is to me, yes. At some point, we need to lean on belief, founded in trust, founded in fact. Doing it again?
I don't think I've seen you like this before.
It's not my most particularly favourite way to be.
Why don't we run through some of the preparations you've made to take your mind off it?
Right, yes. I've prepared all the potions and filters you might need. Mixed them up in bulk, thanks to the equipment I've gathered. From the raw ingredients to the essential alkahests to the final product, I am sure that what I've made is of the highest possible quality. You're right. It did help.
Brynn, not just quick of blade, but big of heart. It's always a pleasure to see you.
It's always a joy to see you too, Dom.
Not everyone can catalyze a discussion between a couple that clearly needed to happen. You'll always have my thanks for that.
How are you feeling about the expedition?
We are as ready as we can be, and with our intrepid point as the vanguard, what could go wrong?
Rather a lot, honestly.
Yes, but it shan't. You will overcome, and you need to keep that in your heart. Hope is like magic. Its real strength comes from inside. Will, fortitude, and belief can overcome the impossible. If you believe that you have what it takes to win the day, you shall. I know this, and you do too.
Sola, how are you feeling about the upcoming expedition?
These days I can handle just about anything. And that's in large part thanks to you.
Me?
You supported me through all this Tarmakine stuff without faltering. Even when it felt like my world could crumble in the face of it. And then, you didn't just bring Dom and I back together. You and Casmin showed us we never really lost one another. I just feel so much more resilient thanks to you.
Come on. That was all you.
Don't worry. I'm not selling myself short, but you gave me space to grow as a person. Not a lot of friends are brave enough to do that.
Anytime, Sola.
I'm ready to do whatever it takes to help you succeed at the source, Brynn.
Glad to hear it.
Hey,
How's it going, Arik?
sorry. I get kind of keyed up before anything big. Breathing helps. And this is a big one, isn't it?
Maybe the biggest. At least in recent memory.
Legendary understatement. Anyway, we're as ready as we can be on my end. The scouts still in fighting shape after Stanold's folly are deployed. They'll be reporting on Surgeborn behavior and ready to intercept if anyone moves against Dharm and the Axle. We're even field testing some reweaves to the enchantments on our scries. Some progress there.
Sounds like the guide is settling into his role pretty smoothly.
Yeah, well, I mean, someone's got to. Thanks. We're going to do this, Brynn. You're going to do this.
That's the plan. Thanks for all your support.
You're what we needed. Someone to step up and damn the consequences.
So you are worried about me?
Not a chance. Just came to wish you luck. This will be a career-defining moment for you. I've been fortunate enough to have my share of them, so I recognize one when I see it.
The Enclave is the heart of our legacy as weavers. An expedition to restore it? That is so much more than I could have dreamed of doing with my life back in Carnhaven. What if I screw it up?
You won't.
What makes you so sure?
Something I saw in you the first day we met. You act in spite of your fears, not because of them. Call it intuition or faith, but I call it letting love drive you. Whether that's love of a person, a place, or a culture, or, in your case, a love of adventure. I've had great accomplishments throughout my career. But if there's one that will profoundly shake future generations for the better, it's bringing you here.
Thank you, Aurea.
Sev is set to vent the tangles from the source when you're ready, Brynn.
I hope this works.
We have every reason to believe this will make the source tolerable for you. I'll tell Sev to get started. Dom and Khan Arteme will escort you to the rift with the Ark.
Looks like Sev was right. The rift has been vented. It's as safe as it's going to be.
You sure that rope can hold us both?
It'll do the job. Just try to land gracefully.
I always do. Got it.
My magic will only carry the Ark for as far as I can see you. Good luck, Brynn of Carnhaven.
You've kept me waiting.
Ignore it.
I plan to.
You'll find I demand attention. Admit it. You're a little curious about me. After all, you have paid me a visit in myself.
I'm not listening to you.
But imagine what I could offer you if you did.
How'd that work out for Kenrick Stanild?
Breathe through it, Brynn. I know its voice is making your skin crawl. I feel it too.
It helps when you guys are talking, instead of it.
Then we'll keep talking. We're here for you.
No matter what that voice says, you stopped the Herald before. You can do it again.
That furry friend of yours betrayed you, and yet you don't mind having him in your ear. Double standard.
Brynn, you put your faith in me at the Grand Gate. I'm doing the same for you now. None of us would still be here if it weren't for you.
You're getting close. One last chance. Join me, and I'll grant you strength beyond your wildest dreams.
I've already told you, I don't need it.
If you're strong enough without me, why are there 7 crunches chattering in your ear?
They're not crutches, they're friends.
We could be friends.
What's so funny?
Couldn't destroy me with an arc of my size. And so you brought a toy instead. thick with tangles. My strength is far greater than it was at the Grand Gate.
Brynn, what's dark?
Aurea?
Brynn, we're losing.
Arrogance is so typical of your species. The breach is too wide for your arc.
Breach? What breach?
The breach between our world and yours, of course.
You're from another world?
You call us Surgeborn, but we are ancient. As old as the tear between worlds that bleeds what you call magic. your kind tall wider in their own quest for power, until they could no longer contain it, and the inevitable happened.
The Surge.
The Surge. An event so cataclysmic in both worlds it shook them to their core, and it left a path. One I had to follow. Your kind have mastered the coral, indestructible and suffused with incredible power. Power you barely understand and haven't earned. Power that should and will be mine. You can't hope to compete with me. I carry with me 1,000 souls and 1,000 bodies. You are an insect. Consider it an inherent failure of your species.
Could you shut up?
Does the truth strike a nerve?
No, you're annoying. And I'm trying to think.
Brynn! Arik managed to get the scry back, for now.
We've lost visuals.
The Herald is down, but regenerating. And the Arc of Verdance. It's working, but the raw magic is too much. The Arc can't pacify the tangles.
You need to get out of there. Now!
No! I have to do something.
Brynn, we will find another way.
Don't bother. You will die. Just like the Eye's daughter.
Whatever it takes.
Her name was Isla.
Brynn. Can you hear me? Brynn. Talk to me.
Oh no.
Come on.